podcast.
We're getting better at this.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
In case you didn't know, Star Wars sort of happened.
Yeah, I mean, if you weren't too busy, watching the Alvin and the Chipmunks, the road trip.
Yeah, Star Wars didn't stand a chance.
I mean, slaughter, right?
Rip.
No one went to see it. No one was just I was thinking of keeping that joke going and maybe even seeing it just to sustain the joke, but no, I'm not going to do that to myself.
Yeah.
We watched Star Wars. We also watched the original Star Wars before we went into this one.
Yeah.
The good ones,
Yeah.
because after the prequels, we needed to get past that, to wash it out of our mouths.
Should we, before we get going, should we talk about what we've been up to?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
just give it a little more structure, because that's what we kind of want in our podcast.
Yeah, no. I mean, we've all completed our work for Christmas.
Yeah.
Or say we have, and just have to struggle through that for the foreseeable future.
Yep. Been watching anything, playing anything besides
watching more One Punch Man.
Oh yeah.
One Hype Man.
I need to get caught up with that. Apparently, it's finished.
I don't know about that. I'm halfway through.
Yeah.
I think, but it's really getting good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's still got a lot to do if it wants to top Crab Lante.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've also been watching more of Star Wars Clone Wars, which is kind of related.
Yeah.
So we're almost getting there into relevant topics.
Almost.
Yeah, it's a really good show. Really washes the prequels out a little bit.
And Dengar is all up in there.
Dengar is in it. Dengar's there, which
Thank God.
Yeah, makes you happy. I'm sure. Mm-hmm. You still need to watch it though.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. As for me, I've just been playing some of them video games. I finished The Devil's Third.
How is that?
It starts off as just like, wow, this is the worst game of the year. How could something this okay be this garbage? And then it's a little garbage at the end, and that's about it, really. I mean, first of all, it's by the guy who did the original Dead or Alive and Ninja Gaiden games, so don't you dare expect a plot.
No, I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, because I think he was there until about DOA 3 or 4, and then he left.
Then they just decided that beach volleyball was more important.
Yeah, I think that's part of the reason why he left, because
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, and now he shit talks DOA 5, even though I've heard a lot of people say it's better than ever now. Yeah, I played that, and it's alright, most of it. There's a couple shitty levels, and it looked like an early PS3 game graphically. But other than that, it was just it was so solid that I was like, yeah, it was alright. Everyone chill the fuck out. What else did I do? I've been watching a bunch of films. Like I said to you earlier, I watched the original and then the remake of that Japanese horror film Pulse. Wow, that remake though.
Yeah, I've only seen the remake, so I have no idea what. I mean, I should see the original.
Yeah, you totally should. That remake, it's a bucket of trash.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, in the original film, they talk about what it means to die, what's it like being alone? Is death being alive, but just completely alone and stuff like that. They never talk about any of that in the remake. And
I just remember a bunch of shit about technology and red tape saving people and whatever, and it's not very well explained.
Yeah, and it gets really confusing because if I believe in the original one, they only use technology that has some kind of connection to other people as a means as the ghosts traveling through technology. But in the remake, it's just anything or almost anything technological, which defeats the point of the symbolism behind being connected, but at the same time being alone.
You can't expect the American horror remake to mean anything.
Yeah. I mean,
I like The Ring, I guess. But it didn't mean anything.
It misses out a lot of the subtleties of the original one. And it's I think it's a great example of the more you show, the less scary it is, and the less it means. Because they show there's one bit where they're in the car and the ghosts are on top of the car trying to pull them out, and then they drive out of the connected area into a dead zone.
That's the bit I remember. Yeah, they have to get into the dead zones. Yeah,
that bit is that nothing like that ever happens.
I think that's
remotely.
what the sequels are. Is everyone's hiding out in the dead zones? It's the ghosts are all in the connected areas,
which makes it seem like it's completely its own thing. Post. You should have made your own film at that point.
Basically.
When you're in a post-apocalyptic world where ghosts rule.
Yeah,
where ghosts beat everyone up.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, I've got cell phone service.
Oh
The ghosts can get us now.
no!
It's the scariest thing.
Yeah. So fuck that film. Fuck it. Fuck it right in its 2006 face. Go watch the original one. It's called Cairo. Or just type in like Pulse.
Yeah.
Japanese.
Yeah.
Very
Good
very
stuff,
good.
yeah.
Very good film. Been pushing it on everyone like a drug.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been my time. Apart from just living and breathing in Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars has taken up a lot.
Yeah, that's so much so that I finally bought the original trilogy on Blu-ray. The least altered versions possible.
No, they're still pretty old.
The best cut we're possibly going to get, unless
Yeah.
they do re-release the originals.
Yeah.
Which, if they do, this is going in a fire, and I'm getting the.
Oh,
I'm getting
yeah,
like 10 copies of the original.
Absolutely. Like, if I'm really surprised that they didn't release the originals like as soon as Force Awakens came out, because that would have been like big money up in the house for Disney.
I mean, who knows? Maybe they've got some other plan. I still think that they're like trying to satiate our hunger and like just really making us wait, and then they bring it out and literally everyone buys it.
Maybe if one of the spin-off films goes really bad and everyone hates it, then they'll release it. Like that's their trump card. They're holding on to it. It's just like
a Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yeah. It's just like, okay, when everyone's pissed at us, now, and then they'll release it.
So that won't be for another 5 films.
Probably. I mean, we'll get on to how they did with Force Awakens in a bit.
Yeah.
But,
first, we'll talk about them originals.
Yeah. I mean, we got to show them to our friend who's never seen them,
which
was pretty impressive that we got through all 3 of them in one day.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some freaks of nature watched all 6 leading up to the Force Awakens. Like,
I don't care for those people.
I mean, no, that's not what humans are meant to do. I like Star Wars. I'll even defend the prequels in some areas, but goddamn, I'm not watching all 6 movies in one continuous run.
That's a tough time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't need that.
Nah, don't got time for it.
I mean, that's like 15 hours, 16 hours.
Oh, didn't you get up to like make a sandwich or something?
I guess maybe they had breaks. I would hope so.
Well, anyway, we watched the originals. The
good ones.
Damn, they hold up.
Yeah, they hold up pretty well.
Even with some shitty changes.
Well, it says just all of the things that with the prequels. We watched Phantom Menace, half of Attack of the Clones. It's like, you know what? I'm good for now. We can stop for a bit.
And even then, that was so slow.
And Attack of the Clones was really, really hard to get through.
And then we watched the second half of Revenge of the Sith, and that also felt incredibly slow.
Yeah.
And then we watched the original trilogy like a week later. It flew by.
It really did.
It just flew by.
Yeah, it's three films, and
they're all pretty long.
They're all pretty long. They're all like over 2 hours. They're all very watchable though. Even with CGI right in your face, like for some of the shots, the CGI is still inexcusable and pretty bad.
Yeah. Since it's been such a long time since I've watched an original Star Wars film in its entirety, the people saying how bad the changes were felt a bit blown out of proportion to me. But that's...
I think it's really just like 3 or 4 scenes that I really do not care for it one bit.
Same.
Which is Mos Eisley, like they're going into that because it's like, ew, you got some Phantom Menace in my original trilogy. I don't need that.
It's not nice.
Then there's the Jabba hangar scene, which is completely unnecessary and should have remained deleted.
Is that the
CG Jabba, which looked, believe it or not, far worse in the 97 version. Like, it's that scene.
So originally he just wasn't supposed to be there at all. They just talk about him.
That you don't see him. You just hear his name, and it was a much better reveal. So, which is why it's really annoying seeing it with Chloe now, not with her not having seen the films before now, and that reveal getting spoiled. She may have seen Jabba, but at some point, but just watching it as an experience made it much worse.
Maybe if Jar Jar was an entirely different alien, because I like his design, I like his made-up language.
Jabba.
Jabba.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, that's they made a full language out of that, Huttese.
Yeah.
Like, apparently the song in the new Cantina is sung in Huttese.
Awesome.
That's clever. I like it. But what was the other one? Obviously, the other big problem with Jabba's palace, the
Jedi rock scene.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Du, 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 du,
Yeah, it's pretty awful. It's right in your face. It gets right up to the camera and spits in your face. It's genuinely obnoxious, and I hate it.
God. And that George believed that helped his vision.
Yeah, this is the problem when he says, "This is what I wanted to do, but I didn't have the money or the freedom to do so." that was a good thing. That was a good thing, George. And this is not what that should have been. Like, like that's the point where it's like, okay, this is the man's vision. Don't let him have it. It legitimately made it worse.
Yeah. And obviously the elephant in the room, Han shot first, which they at least compromised and sped it up so he shot simultaneously.
It is fast enough to where they're basically shooting simultaneously.
Yeah.
But it is still Greedo missing at point blank range.
Yeah.
What an idiot.
Yeah.
How, like, worst bounty hunter ever.
He's got his laser set to slow-mo.
Yeah.
If Han can turn his head and dodge it.
Yeah, I mean,
and have time to shoot as well.
Yeah, it's kind of funnier in the earlier special editions because it's so slow. It's like one jerking motion on his head and he's just like...
It's almost like he's doing a slow head turn.
Yeah.
He's like, oh no, a laser. Better dodge that.
Yeah. It's like, oh, this is going to shoot my head. If I tilt my head, I'll be fine.
Better do that in a couple hours.
Yeah. No, but all those changes aside, I mean, Empire holds up. Like, all the changes made to Empire, mainly because it's the one George Lucas had basically nothing to do with, and it's therefore the best. Mm-hmm. That still remains the best film. And all of those changes, I'd say, hold up as perfectly fine and acceptable.
True.
Like, if all the changes were just the ones from Empire, where it just adds stuff in the vague background where you can't tell it's CGI, people wouldn't have complained.
Yeah, I mean, people were a bit upset that there was more of the ice monster
the beast on Hoth, I forget its name, but
I don't care. It was a cool design.
Yeah, it looked fine. I would agree that seeing it more makes it less scary, but it's not
fair enough.
But
that's small potatoes.
It's in one scene, who cares, whatever.
We never see its species again.
And at least instead of doing it with CGI, they had a man in a costume, which is I really appreciate.
Would you have preferred those big gross alien walker things that the stormtroopers were riding? The terrible CGI that the stormtroopers were riding?
Well, no, what the 8080s?
No, like, you know, when they're on Tatooine, they're riding those gross CGI things.
Yeah, I know.
They're riding a piece of CGI.
Yeah, it was pretty. That's just disgusting.
If it was that, I think that's
the biggest problem with the special editions is just how dated they look. They look far more dated because of the CGI.
Yeah, fucking models look better than
they do.
At the time, the latest computer graphics.
Yeah. Let's just go through them quickly. Like, A New Hope. Like, how do you feel about that overall as a film?
A New Hope, that flew by.
I think it flew by.
The absolute quickest of all of them. It was a good time, but obviously it is definitely the most simplest of them.
I think it is very simple. Yeah.
Because it's so simple, and people say it's kind of not great because of that, but to me it's good execution. I think which makes up for. I
think people forget just how new all of that was because we've grown up with it.
Yeah.
We forget how just original lightsabers, Darth Vader, the Death Star, the Star Destroyer, the X-Wing, all of it, just like all of it was so new and amazing at the time.
And like it's why I was like, wow, this holds up so well. I can see why this is a part of society because we've grown up with it. You kind of forget why it's such a big part of pop culture and film. So much memorable imagery, so many moments, so many references. That was all from like 3 films. They've lasted 20 years of a man...
30 years.
They've lasted almost 30 years of a man trying to destroy it.
Yeah, that is...
I mean improve it.
New Hope definitely holds up. Nothing to really complain about.
Yeah.
Empire... Yeah, same kind of basic deal. Empire,
I think, where it really hit its stride.
I think it's got a little bit of pacing issues in the middle because nothing really of importance happens, and half of the characters are on kind of a pointless mission that goes nowhere for most of the time, but like they're likable enough that it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because if you forget like the character moments, they're basically doing nothing for that movie. It's really just Luke training that's the interesting stuff. Other than that, I'd say it all holds up.
Yeah, Yoda's in there for about 7 minutes and he's awesome.
And you got Boba Fett. You got Boba Fett.
Still the most overrated thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's got 5 lines in the whole trilogy.
Yeah, and people were... I don't give a shit that they changed it to the other guy's voice who did Django.
Yeah, I forget his name as well, but he's fine.
I don't give a shit.
He's just fine. It doesn't matter. He's a really cool design. He stands there, he looks cool, he says his lines, and he gets out of there.
Yeah, but Boba fans, I'm guessing, are very similar to Shadow the Hedgehog fans. Do not change Shadow the Hedgehog, whatever you do.
I don't know, at least with Shadow the Hedgehog, there's so much more canon stuff for them to complain or love.
That almost depresses me that there's so much canon around Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah, there is that. Return of the Jedi, I think, is the most contentious one, really.
Yeah, it has really great moments, but there's so many moments where I could hear, I could feel, I could taste George saying, "Oh, this is going to be great. They're going to love it."
I could feel him saying, "This will make a great toy."
Exactly.
The kids will love the little Ewoks.
Yeah, I rolled my eyes every time the Ewoks showed up.
They stop the plot dead for 20 minutes,
and they even have time to talk about, hey, remember that cool stuff that was happening, instead of doing cool stuff.
That scene where C-3PO is recounting the story of much more interesting things from the previous movies is when your movie stops to talk about how awesome the other films were.
You're wasting our time.
And it's just wow, couldn't we be making new, cooler moments? And it's also just a massive rehash with the Death Star. It's just it feels like a big cop-out.
They basically, in the first film, they make out that it's taken roughly 20 years to build a moon-sized Death Star, and it's finished, it's fucking badass, and there's just some minor things left to do. In the space of about 2-4 years, they build a newer, bigger, almost completed Death Star that's way more fucking powerful in not even 10 years.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the prequels...
That was very much George's decision.
I think the prequels really showed, because they had to end on the shot of look, the Death Star's being made, but it's okay, did they make a couple Death Stars at the same time and just hid the second one, which would be smart, but it's still pretty dumb. Just as a plot thing, it didn't even have to necessarily be that there was a new Death Star. They could have just had another super weapon that wasn't the Death Star, a new Super Star Destroyer that has a gun on it or something.
That'd be fucking rad.
Because they did that in the expanded universe, where basically one of these admirals says, "You know what? We don't need the whole Death Star. We just need the gun. Just strap it onto my ship.
Just put it on my back.
Just have it on.
Throw me into space.
Yeah, just have it on the goddamn ship." And just we're good. That would have been a much more interesting thing. Also, you'd think, because the idea is that the rebellion is meant to be their crowning victory, wouldn't it have been more interesting for them to storm Coruscant? I know that they didn't have the money to really show a full city planet or whatever, but still, come on, right? That would have been much more interesting.
True.
Yeah. And like I said, most of those characters are doing nothing of importance. You can say, oh, they have to disable the shields. It's basically busy work. You didn't have to write that there was a shield in there, George.
Yeah, the only character who really has proper movement is Luke.
Yeah, Luke is the only one who does anything of interest. And as much as I like the whole sequence of saving Han, that's basically a narrative cul-de-sac where it's basically, oh no, we froze Han in the last movie, we've got to save him. It doesn't actually contribute to the overall plot at all.
Dead and / frozen Han isn't very good for toy sales.
Yeah. If you didn't know, Harrison Ford wanted his character dead and said to George, how about you kill me off as a big pathos moment, I save everyone else, and George just said, I don't think there's money in dead Han toys, which I think really shows his mentality at that point.
Yep. Yeah.
And at that point, the producer, who I've also forgotten the name of because I'm terrible at this, but the producer of the first two films had left, and he was the one who's really propelling, no, it's about the story, it's about the characters, and George was like, no, action figures and explosions.
I wonder why he left.
I think he just had a massive falling out with George Lucas.
Oh.
And the actors said it was mum and dad breaking up.
Oh my god.
And they didn't know how to deal with it because they loved both of them, but they couldn't really fight it. So.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah. Though it's interesting to know what might have happened, because they were suggesting Luke could have taken over as Darth Vader by the end of it.
Oh yeah, didn't you say there was that massive twist for no reason?
Yeah, it was either going to be that he was going to take over as Darth Vader, or it was going to be a bittersweet thing where the Empire is destroyed, but so is the rebellion, and Luke walks off into the distance, basically Clint Eastwood, Man with No Name style, and just
I could have been cool with that.
I would have been okay with it, but George clearly wanted a happy ending, because he started with Far, Far Away Galaxy, fairy tale opening, and he wants to have a fairy tale ending. Fine, I guess, but still, it's I don't know how to feel about that as an end to a trilogy. Yeah. It's still fun.
Yeah.
I'll give it that.
Yeah, it has some great moments.
It has some great moments. The design on, the Endor stuff, the speeder bikes, love that.
Giant trees as well.
Yeah, giant trees.
Super cool. And like
even if you don't like the Ewoks, you remember them. They're still good designs,
they're
I guess.
there.
They are there, and they're for kids, whatever.
And then Boba shows up and finally does something cool and Robot Chicken.
Yeah, and
he's back from the dead.
And Boba gets exactly what he deserved from the beginning. Because, because that's what was going to happen, and you fanboys have just way blown him out of proportion because his fucking T-visor is really memorable. That's all people remember of him.
The T.
And missile backpack that he never uses because he's an idiot.
Why wouldn't you? Look at this. Look at the size of it.
Yeah, you got a missile on your backpack and you don't use it on the specific point where you could have blown up the ship with Luke on it and everything.
What chump.
Yeah, real idiot.
Yeah, I did really like the final confrontation with Sidious and Vader and Luke. And...
I like that confrontation, but I do question it because it's one of those things where George says, "Oh, I want Luke to be conflicted," and he doesn't really have a conflict to deal with. He says, "Join me, and you can be my apprentice," but Luke has no real incentive to do that. I don't see what he was meant to be trying at there.
Yeah, though I do like how Vader. Realizes shit, this is going too far, and then he does the no.
Yeah, that was pretty wizard.
Yeah, I agree. If they were going to add a no, they could have just had the first one.
The first one's fine, whatever. I still think it's better if it says nothing. But
it's perfect with no words being said.
It's fine with nothing being said.
Language is great.
If you're gonna say no, you can just say it once. And that first no is well delivered, but then he goes, no!
It's almost on the level of the legendary no!
It's almost there. It's
the proto no.
It's edging up to the line of that no.
Yeah, and then when he gets all shocked and he's super dying and he's like, let me look at you with my own eyes. It's just that was a really great moment.
All of that's just fine. All of the original stuff's fine. It's kind of funny though if you see the special edition after the original, because for no reason they edit off Sebastian Shaw's eyebrows.
Oh yeah, they tried to make him look more like Hayden Christensen apparently.
I don't know about that. I can believe it.
I've heard they tried to warp his face a little bit. They changed his eye colour, but it's really difficult to see.
He looks a bit thinner, and I can't believe I never noticed his weird top egg head bit. Where it's
so gross.
Where his head looks a little caved in. I don't know if that's a special edition thing, but I have not noticed it all these years, and whether it was or not, I've seen the special editions enough time. I should have noticed, and now I'm grossed out, and I feel weird for not noticing it.
I feel like it's just one of those things you didn't notice. I don't
probably
think it's a change.
It's a weird thing though, because he's got this weird caked in egg head. And
he was set on fire and then he said, "I hate you." Of course he's got some hole in his head.
I don't know where he got it. I don't know if that's a plug for where to put his little Vader helmet head thing.
Who knows? It's Robot Hitler. He's probably just into weird stuff.
Robot Hitler is into some weird stuff, yes. After that though, have you read any of the expanded universe? Do you know what happened after that point?
Garbage?
There's a lot of garbage in there, but a lot of it is inspiration for The Force Awakens. So having seen it or read some of it, I know at least a bit about what they were going for, I think.
Yeah.
But in the expanded universe, they did kind of turn Luke into a Mary Sue a bit.
Oh yeah, it's not like their kids show up and they have to fix their kids' shit.
No, yeah, Luke is real Mary Sue. Their kids are all have the special, so they're all powerful.
They're all the chosen ones.
They're all the chosen ones. They all have destiny. One of them turns to the dark side and is a real bitch about it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's there's stuff in there from the expanded universe that they've used for Force Awakens, but and some stuff that I think could have been cooler. There was like I said, that literally in the expanded universe, one of the admirals literally takes the gun from the Death Star and plugs it onto a Star Destroyer, and when it lights up, it looks like a lightsaber, so they call it the Dark Saber.
Yeah,
it's rad. I like it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It would have been really cool if they'd done something like that. But you want to get on to Force Awakens?
We'll get on to The Force Awakens. It was good.
Yeah, it was
liked
good.
It a lot.
Yeah,
it was a fun old time.
Yeah,
you're a little disappointed when you came out first.
So let's talk about the experience of going to see it, because we organised 15 people to go see it, and that was a really fun time.
Yeah, obviously the going to see it with all those people was really rad.
Oh yeah, it was great to see everyone, get everyone's impressions from it.
Yeah,
and coming out of it, a lot of us or at least I'd say half or most of us were not disappointed, but a little just okay from it.
That might have been the hype.
I'll admit it was probably the hype.
Yeah,
I'm probably, as one might say, in a hell of my own making.
Yeah, I did really well to like tune out my hype because I didn't want to have Jurassic World happen all over again.
Yeah.
Where like I thought it was really amazing, and then just each time you watch it, it falls apart.
I've kind of gone reverse on this because like the first time I watched it in critic mode, and I don't take back a single thing of the criticisms I'm going to mention here and what I said then. All of them were true, but having rewatched it and without the hype and knowing what I was getting into, good. Yeah, enjoyed it. You know, it's a fun time. I still don't think as a movie it gets more above like C+, B- kind of grade.
Which is pretty much what we were expecting, weren't we? At worst,
it's well, that's the thing. It is my worst expectations, which is C+, B-.
Yeah,
like everyone who made it was very technically competent. They knew what people were afraid of in terms of like. They knew not to be the prequels. They knew, they...
It was the apology.
Yeah, it was the apology, but let's face it, they were trying a bit too hard to appease the fans.
Yeah. That's... I can't, like, say no to that. It was drawing very much from the episode 4 well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The plot is basically a mirror of it. Mm-hmm. In terms of the new characters, what did you think? Like,
really like the new guys.
Yeah, all of them really delivered.
Yeah, Ray and Finn, really like them a lot.
Did you think that they were going to have a bit of a romance?
No, and I'm fine with that.
I think it could go that way.
It can. It depends how they do it. So right now, I'm fine if they don't. Because I like how like the film kind of I was a bit like because Finn, he's a stormtrooper and he's like, no, this is fucked up. I don't really want to do this.
Yeah.
So he escapes with a TIE fighter rebel guy, and he's pretty cool. I like him too.
Poe Dameron, really cool character. Wish there was more of him.
Yeah, there just wasn't enough. Yeah, I forgot he was in there at one point.
Yeah, because he does leave the movie for quite a long time. He's off on his own. I think they could have found a way for him to be to come in earlier and like rejoin the group and make a full trio, because like most of the time it's just Finn and Rey, and they're fine. I like them as new characters, but I think they could have had a trifecta there.
Yeah,
and really
a trio would have been great.
Yeah, like really brought back memories of the original three.
Like Luke, Leia, and Han, but everyone else really pulling their weight.
Yeah,
because Leia doesn't really have much of a story arc. She chokes a big fat slug.
Yeah,
and then that's it.
Yeah, again, nothing really. Like, after the first movie, she doesn't. Well, she got captured in the first movie, so she doesn't really like.
She just sits around and looks fucking hot for a bit.
She shoots some guys, and then she's hot for a bit, and then she's a general for a bit. And then it's over.
Yes. You can see why she was super like good on you, Disney, for not making any more Slave Leia merch.
Yeah, and you can also see why she was doing a lot of cocaine at that point. Because like, what else are you gonna do? You're just there to look hot, whatever. Like,
I think she.
I like Leia as a character. She's a badass, but she doesn't really have that much to do other than be hot. Like,
nothing against her, but facts are facts. She didn't do all that much.
Speaking of her returning in this movie, what did you feel of her and the returning cast?
The returning cast, I think they did it how I wanted it to be done. Like it wasn't. They were there to pass the torch on. They weren't carrying the film.
Yeah,
so like Han isn't there from the beginning of the film. He shows up about halfway to a quarter in.
Yeah, he's kind of the Obi-Wan of this film.
Yeah,
which there to teach people and everything.
Which is, I think that's perfectly fine. Carrie Fisher is like a general that makes perfect sense with her.
Yeah, that's a cool thing.
Yeah, another change I liked. I wouldn't know what to say is characters really, but like the changes and the positions that they have feel perfectly natural.
Yeah, they do make sense. Some people complain that like Han's basically in the same position he was 30 years ago, but they do point out that he was in a different position and he's moved like back to this, like, which is kind of cheating, but I thought was fine. Like he's a bit of a smuggler again, bit of a rebel, bit of a loose cannon, one might say. Though
speaking of which, they did say like he had a thing with Leia, and then that did lead to some character.
I'm not surprised that didn't work out though, because like at the end of Return of the Jedi, it's like, we're gonna be together forever, and it's just
forever.
Yeah, I kind of thought, okay, 30 years on, are they really going to be around together? I can imagine them having quite an estranged relationship. Like
I could see them being happy for a little while, and then it it pitters out very quickly.
Yeah, I can see that
Maybe
happening.
after a few years.
Yeah, because Han seems like the restless type, and I can
Yeah.
imagine him going off to... Both of them are pretty restless.
One's committed to work and one's just a smooth operator.
Yeah, I can't imagine...
One prefers to hang around a big furry man.
Apparently, like, Chewie's meant to be, like, 230 years old.
Fucking shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Holy Christ, I never really thought about that. He's probably pretty old at this point.
No, apparently that's, like, Wookiee middle age. Which
Damn.
you'd think... I mean, I'm not trying to be mean here, but a planet of savages, you wouldn't expect them to have that much of a lifespan.
They eat a lot of... I don't know what the equivalent of red meat is in Star Wars. I mean, they have blue milk, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, it's a crazy world. It's a crazy sci-fi world with crossbows that shoot laser bolts that are really awesome.
And
I
nerf herders.
And nerf herders. And
whatever the hell those are.
And moof milkers is the new thing. Ugh. I don't know what a moof is, and I don't know how to milk it.
Maybe that's what makes the blue milk.
I don't want to know. I'm fine not knowing. I like how J.J. Abrams seemed to recognise how awesome that crossbow is, and and thought, you know what? Why didn't we see more of that? That was a fucking cool weapon. Let's have the giant crossbow back in.
With the weird balls at the side.
Yeah, with the weird balls at the side.
They're possibly counterbalances. I don't know.
We don't know science. It might be. It might not be.
Who cares? It looks cool.
It does look cool. Like, let's think of what we can say plot-wise without spoiling it. It does, like...
Well, I don't know. We are kind of in a spoiler sort of cast,
We're getting there a bit, but just... How much of it do you think, like, mirrors A New Hope, like, percentage-wise?
I'd say it's pretty close.
People seem to be getting almost a backlash to it because they see it as basically just mirroring everything.
Yeah, but I feel kind of the same way about this as I do as New Hope. It's simple.
Yeah.
But the execution was great.
The execution is fine.
Yeah,
and I think that's,
instead of like the plot being simple, it's the same, but the execution's great. Yeah. It's like a new coat of paint.
Yeah, it's a fun time, which is what Hollywood and Disney in general is good at this point.
It's what the prequels had literally none of. It starts off like nice and strong, and like the original ones is like trade negotiations, and it's just I've got a very bad feeling about this. Walking around on some half CGI set, and then some racist aliens show up, and it's all very monotone. But what I really liked about this film was how funny it was. Yeah, like it obviously it's not a laugh out loud, boom, boom, boom.
I don't know. There was quite a few jokes that I laughed about.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it wasn't funny. Every joke hit the mark, but I'm not saying it's not a comedy. It's an action adventure.
Yeah,
do you remember any jokes in the prequels?
Death Sticks.
Do you remember any that like were intentionally funny?
I don't know. Death Sticks seems like it was intentionally funny. I'm not saying I can remember literally anything else other than that, unless the existence of Dexter Jetster is meant to be a joke in itself, which
intentional jokes.
Yeah, again.
So would that technically mean that those films' existence are jokes? Oh,
I'm pretty sure they're a joke about his career. There's just I'm pretty sure he might have been playing an extended 9-year joke on the entire fan base by making those films.
Yeah.
But in terms of jokes in the movie, no. Death Sticks is pretty much the only one I remember. Death Sticks is pretty funny, but then it's gone, and then we're back to whiny Anakin and Obi-Wan. Speaking of that kind of relationship, 2 minutes of on-screen chemistry between Poe Dameron and Finn is literally more brotherhood than Obi-Wan and Anakin had in 3 fucking movies.
Yeah.
That is efficiency right there. Like, literally, like, they meet, they're best buddies, and then they meet again later. They
hug it out.
They hug it out. They're best buddies. That's what Obi-Wan and Anakin should have been. It would have been great.
Yeah, they should have done a bit. They should have taken a page from episode 6 where everyone's all hugging.
Yeah, a lot of hugging, hugging it out, making friends.
Yeah,
it would have been great. But yeah, let's go into spoilers if we're going to talk about hugging.
Okie dokie. Well, the film starts with the stormtroopers making up for all the people that they didn't show by shooting a whole village of people standing still. Don't worry, it's not we need to kill all these children levels of grimdark.
There is implication of that children were killed at one point, though.
But we didn't need to see it, and they don't show it.
Yeah,
because
they show a field of bodies, but it's kind of just implied that some of them were children.
Well, like you said when we were talking about it, it was completely unnecessary to be like, yeah, you got to kill this church full of children. Do it. I might be able to save your wife. I don't know. Just kill these kids. Don't think about it.
Yeah, it was much worse back then.
Yes.
But yeah, let's get the big spoiler out of the way. Bye, Han Solo. Bye, Harrison Ford.
I agree with what you said off the podcast. You either guessed it a year before the film came out or an hour into the film.
Yeah. Han Solo dying, as soon as Harrison Ford signed up, I said it. I said he was going to die. Because that's the only way you get Harrison Ford back on board for this bullshit. Like, he hates... Not necessarily Star Wars in its entirety, but he really wanted his character to die in multiple movies that he was in, and
he doesn't care much for it now because it was one of his early roles, so obviously actors don't care as much for their early roles.
I don't know if he wants to defend much of his 90s career though. There's not much in there that you could really say was great, but he doesn't seem to like Han Solo as a person, as a character.
And when he was promoting the film, he was super enthusiastic and cool about it.
As soon as he was smiling in interviews, it's like...
How much did they pay you?
Well, how much did they pay him? And also, they got to kill Han. Because, as soon as he was...
It's win-win for him.
As soon as he was smiling, it's like, okay, how much did they pay you and how much did they kill Han?
Did they, kill him times 10?
Did they kill him a lot? Did they kill him really, really bad? And
they killed him good.
They killed him good. They killed him right good. By his son.
Yeah. Kyle.
Yeah. I know his name's Ben, he shouts, Ben! It's like, his name's Ben Solo. I don't care, I'm calling him Kyle, because his name's Kylo Ren. He looks much more like a Kyle than a Ben to me.
Yeah. Could you imagine that? He's got his cool helmet down, it's like, Kyle! Hey, Kyle!
He's Kyle. That's all he's...
Kylo Ren's an awesome name, but...
Kyle.
He's Kyle.
He's Kyle, and that's all he's ever doing.
I like Kyle.
I like Kyle a lot, yeah. He seems a lot like what Anakin should have been.
Yeah, I love how calm and deep his voice is, and I think the actor they chose for him, I was worried that his voice was gonna not match his face, but I think it works.
No, Adam Driver's a good actor.
They got the right guy for the job.
I was scared, and I think I even joked on this podcast, or at least to you, that I was afraid that he was going to take off his mask and it was going to be normal Adam Driver face, and he pulled his mask off and it was normal Adam Driver face, which at first I was like, oh, lame, I wanted to see fucked up cyborg face.
Yeah.
But then I thought about it, and it's like, wow, that's really smart, because it's basically he wants to be Darth Vader.
Yeah.
And he's like...
He wants to look all fucked up and hidden and shit.
I mean, he's basically a try-hard, edgy kid.
Who worships dead Hitler.
Yeah. No, I want to be like Hitler. He was awesome. He's like...
Yeah.
He's basically contrarian, for the point of it.
I liked that he was like, this is kind of fucked up what I'm doing, but I've got to do it. It's the right thing. He believed it.
I did like his conflict, where he was basically saying, I know the light is drawing to me, but I want to stay away from it.
Yeah, and his parents are like, Han's like, there's too much of a Vader in him. It's like, no, there's still a bit of good in him.
They did seem to give up a little quickly, though, in terms of you know what? Our son's turned to the dark side. He's murdered children. We're not going to talk about it, but that's what happened. I guess I'm going to go be a smuggler again.
Well, what do you really do when he joins an evil empire? You can't really knock on their door and say, son, let's talk about it. Let's rap.
I don't know, I feel like the sooner that you get to them and try to talk to them, the better chances you have. We don't know what the time frame on this was, because it seems to have happened when Rey was a child, I'm guessing, and we'll get onto our theories of her. So 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago maybe? So they've let this run for quite a while, that their son is just a murdering psychopath.
Yeah, I guess right now it's kind of difficult to say, because obviously when it comes to Vader and Sidious, they had 3 films of build up, so we instantly think oh yeah, they're great villains because they have this legacy behind them.
True.
Obviously you need one film to stand on its own, but right now we just don't know as much about Kyle. When we find out more, because I would like to know... I
am looking forward to 8 and 9.
Yeah, I would like to know did they snatched him up and indoctrinated him? Because if so, at that point, you wouldn't really want to go knocking at his door, because they'd probably just court-martial you right then and there. Because you can never trust, the entire raison d'etre of Sith Master and Apprentice is one of them is going to screw the other one over.
With the Sith, it is basically in the rule book. Look, I'm the Master, you're the Apprentice. We deal with dark emotions, you're probably going to screw me over. That's just how we roll. Yeah, that's how the Sith roll.
Don't they pretty much say that in the film that Kyle's being used by
Snoke? By
Snoke, yeah.
Speaking of Snoke, how do you feel about Snoke?
His design is left much to be desired.
Because this is a reference you probably won't get, but like when I heard Supreme Leader Snoke as the name, and like imagine, and they said, oh, he's a very shadowy figure on the dark side, and he's been around for like 1,000 years or whatever. I was imagining sort of a Shadow Broker style character from Mass Effect, who he's basically this really alien looking dude who's like buff and like from a primitive race, but like you basically only see him in shadow for most of the time, and that's a really cool idea. And the thing is, he's basically a new emperor. And I'm fine with that as a, like, he's structurally in the same position the Emperor is, whatever, fine, I get that. But, like, design-wise, they could have done anything. They could have done anything they wanted, and they went with basically humanoid, a bit burned up looking.
He looks like a whole bunch of things that I've seen from other films that I can't put my finger on.
Very true. Like, people are calling him Darth Smeagol now, which I'm not surprised about at all, and I'm kind of sad I didn't think of myself. But I do like that he's got like actual burns. Like, they look like very realistic burns.
And of course, Andy Serkis, awesome voice, does a good job.
Andy Serkis is good as the voice, but I'm still kind of annoyed that I can't replicate that voice, because with Emperor jokes you basically just have to be yes, good, and people know what you're doing. But like
because Andy Serkis has a very unique.
I don't have that baritone. I can't do that kind of voice. Like,
you're not a good actor.
I'm not a good actor, and I don't have that kind of voice. I'm not able.
You have to be a shitty actor to be able to. Yes. No, I need absolute power.
Yeah, you have to be going crazy with it and having fun. So that's all you have to do with Darth Sidious. But I can't do genuine intimidation. Like, that's not something I'm good at.
Definitely not.
No. I like the reveal that he's actually a hologram. Like,
that was pretty cool.
And this was another thing, like, coming out of the movie, I've looked into it a bit more to understand the situation, and he's apparently like 7 feet tall, so he's just like, he's tall. He's taller than your average human, but he's not...
He wasn't the bone man that was in your nightmares.
Okay, so I don't know if I said this in a previous podcast, but yeah, I'll say it now. I had a nightmare about 2 weeks before going into this, where because we'd heard some details, basically that he was going to be, that Andy Serkis had filmed his scenes with the other people, where he was on a 20-foot platform, and basically he was acting against them, but it implied that he was massive and skeletal, and I must have transmitted this into my dreams as him being a 20-foot tall, poorly integrated CGI skeleton man.
So basically my bread and butter.
Yeah, a giant skeleton man, and I imagined him with Sam's 20s voice, and Sam's 20s Dengar voice.
Your nightmares and my dreams.
Yes, I imagined that he was, and basically given the same dialogue that he was in the actual film.
We gotta kill them Jedi, see?
Yes, this is exactly what I was imagining. Yeah, basically him just being like a 20s, like, annoying skeleton, and just saying like, see, Kylo Ren, I'm gonna fuck you up if you don't deal with them Jedi.
It's the Star Wars I've always wanted and I'll never get, because for some reason no one will trust me with $20 million.
Yeah,
I'd do so much cocaine if I had that kind of money. And I'd make an entire like movie universe of She-Hulk, and it would bomb, but I'd just keep doing more coke and making more She-Hulk films.
Basically do what everyone did for the original Star Wars films.
Just get coked up and have sex with hot Carrie Fisher.
That's the other thing that was floating around. Apparently Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher were bagging on the side.
Dude, it's practically confirmed.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I mean, two attractive people, half high on cocaine, making a crazy sci-fi film, banging each other.
What the hell are you supposed to do while you're waiting?
Yeah, while you're stuck in a fucking desert for half your time,
exactly.
You know? Yeah. Speaking of which, the fact that they were in a desert for this film as well, you know, like the fact that they actually tried and made practical effects.
Yeah, there was a whole video where it's just like, 1 foot still in the pre-digital age.
Yeah, I do like that. I say like, but it's funny that George, like, at the end of filming Attack of the Clones, is like, you know what, I'll just grab this scene while I'm here for the end of Revenge of the Sith, because I don't want to come back to this fucking desert.
I can understand it, but you gotta bleed for your art, man.
Practically speaking, yes, but like, it does scream like, I don't want to be on the outside. I want to be in my little bubble of green screen and nothingness.
With my coffee
and my 2 screens and my fucking have the actors just sit on sofas delivering dialogue. I don't want to deal with them doing action shit and running about. I don't want to run about. I just want to drink my coffee. And whereas J.J. Abrams, you watch him filming anything and he's right up in the camera. He was right next to it and running with it, and you know, he's quite a physical director. I like that.
Yeah, which is, you know, kind of what you need for a film like this.
With the pacing, it went a bit fast, I would say, and also like there was maybe a few too many action scenes. Like, I don't think we needed the Han Solo Pac-Man ship fight.
With the alien.
Yeah, with the weird CGI aliens.
Yeah,
it felt like
cut that out.
Yeah, it felt like they just said, "Look, you need an action beat every 10 pages," and it's just we didn't like.
I feel like they needed an excuse for Han to get out of something.
I guess they needed
because like you need Han to talk his way out of something.
Yeah, well, talk his way out of something. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I would have been fine with that if it was just like maybe a quick shootout. Like I would have been fine with a shootout. But those aliens, they were hauling weird CGI Cthulhu monster mouths.
Yeah, weird things that look like they're from Final Fantasy.
Yeah, they looked a bit like the one of the monsters from the J.J. Abrams Star Trek film.
Which one? I believe I've only seen the first.
You know that giant monster thing that attacks Kirk on the snow planet for no reason?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't need that. I don't think it was necessary.
Minor tangent. Everyone's divided about that new Star Trek trailer.
Oh, God,
I think it looks beast.
Beastie Boys, one might say.
Yeah, my boys, of the Beastie variety.
Yeah, I'm fine with it as a film. As a Star Trek film, it's quite disheartening to see it go that far down into the action.
Well, didn't everyone say, "Oh, it needs to be more like Guardians," and then it tried to be more like Guardians, and everyone said it needs to be more like Star Trek?
I wasn't asking for it to be more like Guardians. I want more Star Trek. Specifically, I would like it on TV where it can actually be intelligent.
Yeah.
In terms of
I suppose I'm not really a big Star Trek guy. So
that's fair.
I've never cared much for Voyager. I know everyone.
No one did.
No, wait. What's the one everyone loves with Picard?
Next Generation.
I never really got into Next Generation, so I've only seen the first new Star Trek film. Thought it was okay. I didn't watch 2, but 3 looks okay. Or maybe I just like trash. Who knows?
Maybe, but no. With the films, I'm fine with it being crazy and insane and whatever. Because, you know, it's the films. Then the films are never going to be as intelligent or dramatic as the original series. It's just, that's all on TV. You can't keep people's attention with that shit. Yeah. So it's like, fair enough, whatever. Yeah, it is kind of weird to see Fast and the Furious.
There's absolutely some Fast and Furious in your Star Trek right now.
Yeah, which could be peanut butter and jam, or it could just be peanut butter and shit. I don't know, but like
we'll find out. Won't we?
Depends which Fast and the Furious movie you're talking about. But
if it's one, no, thank you.
Yeah,
get that out.
I mean, I like Tokyo Drift because I partially like trash, but like I don't need to see the Enterprise drift through space.
Oh, could you imagine that though?
That'd
be like seeing a roadblock in space. You don't know how they're doing it, but they're doing it.
Yeah. I don't know if I want it, but I want it.
You're curious.
I'm curious to see this hell that I might have unleashed. Yeah.
Well, anyway, back on track.
Back to Star Wars. Yeah.
We were talking.
Yeah. In terms of let's deal with the elephant in the room, the new Death Star.
Yeah.
I mean, Starkiller Base.
That name, it can't not be based on the original name for Luke.
That's the idea, yeah, I think. But and like I like that it does actually kill stars.
Yeah.
But I do have to question how it does that and then how it moves. Like,
I do want to know how it moves, because it fucking eats a star to charge up, and then they built a cannon into the planet, which is beyond metal.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking cool. I'm fine with that. But the idea... Okay, let's just say that it was in a system with 2 suns, because we've seen that in Star Wars a lot.
Yeah.
So it just eats 2 of the suns, because we see it fire once and then nearly fire a second time. Does it just have 2 shots and then it's dead? Because... how do you move a planet?
Maybe, like, if now obviously they didn't go into it, but maybe if it had like giant, like where like, you know, obviously there's that opening.
Yeah.
Maybe if like where the cannon is, they had like giant metal tracks for where this. No, I'm not trying to be stupid here.
I know, but it just makes me think of Invader Zim, where they fight with planets.
Yeah, it was a bit like that. I was feeling a little bit of that. But maybe if it was just like where it had these like giant metal areas where giant clamps come down for like a big propulsion system.
Maybe.
Like sort of like, you know, Obi-Wan's like stupid ring thing that goes around his Dorito ship that like helps him like light jump. Yeah. So almost like that, but it attaches and moves the planet into like different positions and moves it across orbit.
I guess I still think it's dumb. Like,
yeah.
Because what I imagined it being...
But at least that would have been made it mobile.
What I imagined it being, and this is... I would be basically... hyperspace jumps into your solar system, eats your sun, and then you're fucked, and it just leaves.
That's awesome.
That, or it eats your son, or it causes your son to explode. I'm not picky. Either one, it just leaves.
Depends how much it pissed them off.
Yeah, depends how much it pissed them off. Like, I find it more terrifying, the idea of a slow death by lack of sun.
Yeah, so like, all their plants die out.
Yeah, all your plants die out. All of your solar collectors or whatever die out. You're all fucked for energy. Like, you have no light. Your planet starts spinning off into it because its gravity well is all fucked.
You have like 2 shitty days just before you get a quick burning death.
Yeah, I would have been fine with that, but especially because it's called the Star Killer base. It'd be. I want it to kill stars. I want it to punch them to death.
Yeah. No, speaking of which, when I know it wouldn't have happened because this is, again, my vision of Star Wars, but when I imagined them going to destroy the Star Killer, all I imagined was just a bunch of troops setting down in their X-Wings, and they jump out and start punching the ground. Some of them start stabbing it. They all violently start stabbing a planet. Yep.
Because
they got to kill it.
Speaking of which, I mean, like, Han Solo basically says, how do we blow it up? We've done this twice. Let's just do it again.
Yeah, like, he was very much, this is dumb. You're dumb.
Yes. I felt like that was Harrison Ford at that point, not Han Solo, just saying,
pretty much.
How do we blow it up? That's not your line, Han. How do we blow it up?
Yeah.
We've done it before, we can blow it up.
Yeah, he turned in a good performance, but there was a couple lines where I did think, he was phoning that in, wasn't he?
A little bit. He was phoning it in a little bit because he's Harrison Ford. He can only keep it on for so many hours a day because Harrison
old as fuck.
Well, old as fuck and also tired of your shit in every situation. So yeah, like the fact they literally say, "I wish this was the Death Star. Look, here's the Death Star, and this one's like way bigger." Like they literally.
This is like a bitch star, and this is
look at this. This is fucking tiny. Look at this big one. It's crazy. And that's, like, their justification for it, for, like, no, this is way bigger stakes.
I mean, at least it makes sense, there was one the size of the moon, let's have one that's a fucking planet.
It makes sense in terms of escalation, and as a visual, I love it. Every time it's on the screen, it's dumb and I love it. It's so great, but...
More than half stock,
but... They didn't need to have the bombing run to blow it up because it is just so reminiscent of A New Hope. And the biggest problem is it's not the focus of the film because when they start out in A New Hope, it's about delivering the Death Star plans and everything revolves around the Death Star.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing is about we need to destroy the Death Star. Whereas in the new thing, it's about finding Luke, and then this whole thing about this new Death Star comes in, and it's like, I don't care, just find Luke, because yeah, sure, it's going to charge up and kill people, whatever. I don't know any of them, so it'd be fine if it just they just didn't have it in the movie, or if it just wasn't blown up, they deal with that in the next movie. Wouldn't that have been interesting if they'd kept it carrying over?
Yeah, true.
Because as a visual, I love it, but
I was kind of shocked that they got rid of it that quickly.
It would have been cool if that was almost the third movie that they bring that in, just not have it right now, because a lot of First Order guys must have died on that as well.
Yep. At least 20.
Yeah, like 20 or 30.
Well, God forbid 40.
or God forbid Captain Phasma.
That was the one thing I was truly disappointed with. All the cool scenes you see of her in the trailer, most of her scenes.
I love the slow, awesome walking, and in the film it's I'm a badass, and then Chewbacca tackles her in that shot.
The scene where she looks fucking rad in the trailer, and then they cut it off just before Chewbacca tackles the fuck out of her.
Yeah, and then she flat out betrays her cause and everyone she cares about because there's a gun to her head. Pussy moment. Real fucking pussy moment.
I was at least expecting her to, when she betrays them, she I don't know, they end up getting caught anyway, because that was, I don't know, she knew that they'd get caught or something.
Yeah, at least, while I'm pressing all these buttons, they don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Just, have a panic button as, guards come to it. Fine, whatever, she has to disable the shields because that's what she's doing, but she could have called those guys in. But...
Or when they go to do what they need to do, that could have been some kind of red herring, and then it's haha, I knew you'd do that.
Yeah, or at least she gets a few shots off, a fight with them.
I don't think she shot her gun.
Yeah, she didn't at all. and her gun's awesome. I love it. There's just none of that.
It's a shame. She looks awesome. She sounds awesome. She walks awesome.
I got the toy of her because she's awesome. Like,
here's really hoping that she's in the next film.
She's confirmed to it for a turn.
I'm hoping she takes a bigger role. I don't want her to be the next Boba Fett.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what they were trying for, is basically, this character looks awesome, but because it's tradition to fucking waste our cool-looking characters, just, like, have her...
Get punked in a totally lame way.
Yeah. At least Boba fired off a few shots. At least Boba was effective at completing his jobs.
Yeah, at least Boba was good at landing in a sand butthole, or vagina, depending on the edition you watch.
Yeah.
I'd prefer it to be a sand butthole, because it looks far more gross and terrifying than... sand beak vagina.
Yeah, it's super weird.
With terrible CGI that doesn't hold up.
It really doesn't.
And they just add more tentacles.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
No, we don't.
Speaking of the effects, like the effects in this movie, like the CGI stuff, like what did you think of it?
CGI looks really great.
It looks good, except for the two motion capture characters.
So that was...
Leader Snoke and Maz Kanata.
Who was... was that Mars the one with the glasses?
Yeah.
Mars looked like they didn't finish, almost?
Almost. I know that they did a bunch of reshoots for her, because apparently she was meant to stick with them throughout the rest of the film and, like, be at the Resistance base, because there was a shot in the trailer where you see Mars, like, handing Luke's lightsaber to Leia, I think.
Yeah.
And, like, or someone else in the Resistance base, because you can see it in the background.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of stuff where you can see her role was changed and reduced, and, like, there's a bunch of lines from her from the trailer that aren't in the film. So you can see that maybe there was some jiggering with that.
Yeah, Snoke looked a little bit funny, but I could at least say, it's just the grain of the film.
I think my main problem with Snoke's design was the fact that you could have done with makeup. Like,
yes, you could have.
Because I know that he's a bit skeletal and he's a bit, like, he's got a weird shaped head, I guess. But if you...
He's a little taller.
Yeah, he's a bit taller. But you could basically say that that's human. Like, if you told me that was a human with a lot of disfigurement, I'd believe it. Yeah. They could have done that with makeup. Because apparently they went through quite a few different designs for him. So, like...
Maybe they should have stuck with some earlier ones.
Yeah, maybe some earlier ones where he's... Because they were saying he was going to be very alien-looking, like, possibly, like I said, skeletal, to where he's, like, because that's where people are saying he's Darth Plagueis. There's the fan theory that they still think he's Darth Plagueis, where he's... Because they were thinking he was immune, like the people that they're called Munes, and they're really skeletal and weird looking. So
I would have been fine with something more alien, because Darth Sidious looks cool and everything, but it would have been cool to see a more diverse looking creature trying to take over the universe, as opposed to just another dick human.
Yeah, just another... Because, well, apparently this guy is an alien. Like, he's not human.
So he looks so humanoid, though.
He looks so human that it is hard to tell, Yeah,
he might as well just be a disfigured, gross Sith man.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
That's pretty much what Sidious was.
Yeah, exactly. He could be just had Sith corruption and been fucked up by a lightsaber in the face.
Yeah.
And Maz Kanata. I like her character. I like her voice. I like, everything she does. CGI is a bit dodgy.
Yeah, she just looks a bit funny.
Just a bit. I think it's also because there is so much practical effects. It's like when you see those CGI characters, it's the opposite of what happened in the prequels. Because in the prequels, whenever they were on a real full set or in a real full location,
or had an actual model, or anything
it was like landing on an alien planet. It was just like, Jesus Christ, what the hell's this?
Yeah.
And then it was like, in this film, CGI, like, to that extent, is really weird. Like, I remember one shot when they landed on Starkiller Base from, like, the Millennium Falcon. You see them walk out and just see the expanse of, like, of one of the buildings and the battle, and that looks not so great.
Oh dear.
Do you remember that shot?
I think so.
Yeah, where it's like a group shot and they're just like, it's panning back and seeing all the destruction. It looks a bit video gamey.
Yeah.
Which, it's just because so much of it was practical. It's really noticeable.
Yeah.
But the CGI is good overall.
It's
a nice combination.
The dog fights with the TIE fighters and stuff.
Those were really great. I think
love the big crash Star Destroyer and
the
the Millennium Falcon fight out with that.
I think with that bombing run thing, though, they focused a bit too much on the X-Wings, because in the original series, you remember all those different kinds of bombers.
Yeah.
Like, I loved those designs, the Y-Wings and the B-Wings. They were really cool.
Yeah. What were the B-Wings again?
The B-Wings were literally just one solid wing with, like, a cockpit at the top. Remember that?
Yeah.
I love those things. They're great.
They're pretty cool.
And they could have used stuff like that, like, or the Y-Wings, with the big thrusters at the back. I love those. Whereas this was just like X-Wings, everything.
Again, like, riding that nostalgia train, like you said.
It was definitely riding nostalgia a bit.
I liked that they made the stormtroopers a bit more menacing. Like when the film opens, it's it's shaking, the lights are flickering on and off, and they're all standing in line perfectly still. I did quite like that,
and they're effective.
They actually shoot some stuff in this. I mean, obviously the main characters are still pretty immune.
They're still safe. Like even in TIE fighters, they still can't hit them on the ground. But and some of them are trained with melee weapons. I love that.
Oh god! Oh, I got so fucking hyped when the guy with he had like the Tompa anti-lightsaber.
Yeah.
That's also a taser.
Yeah, love that.
That was so
and
cool.
him screaming "traitor!"
Yeah, and he just flips it out into.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome. Like I liked all the designs of the guns and stuff, and their redesign is just similar enough to where it feels similar, but it's also just different enough where you're like, yeah, I'm cool with this.
Yeah. Apparently Johnny Ives literally designed that. So the guy
who's Johnny Ives?
Guy who designed the iPod and the iPhone.
Huh.
So he literally was on board to. So people saying, "Oh, that looks like it's made by Apple." They literally got the guy from Apple to do it.
Well, eat a dick. Like normally everyone can. Like I'm not the biggest Apple fan, but normally everyone's like, "Oh, everything looks like an iPod in whatever film, like Star Trek." The stormtroopers look fucking good, and I don't care.
Yeah, they do, and it's a good design, and because they were trying to the originals was very much 70s design, so I think they were trying very much to update it to what would have happened after 30 years of change.
They did perfectly.
Which is why I think I like pretty much every Stormtrooper design except the originals. I mean, I'm fine with them, but they are like bottom of the line compared to like I really love the clone troopers and these new Stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Even if they never made a piece of armor for the clone troopers.
Yep.
And it was all CGI, and it depresses me to think about that.
Yeah. You had a bunch of green men running around.
Yeah, a lot of green men.
The image in my head is beautiful, of just a bunch of green men shooting at nothing.
I'm thinking more blue men in a green void, so that they can separate them.
No, just a big green screen with green men running around, and then Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia comes on dressed as the Green Man. He's done a bunch of meth, and he's just going like, "Hey guys, what's going on?"
Yeah, just the Blue Man group, just
Green Man group.
Yeah, Green Man group.
Yeah.
Onto the fake out though,
yes.
Because all of the advertising made you think, "Oh, Finn, he's the Jedi. He's got like the lightsaber in every scene."
Yeah.
He ain't no Jedi.
Yeah, I like that they made it right.
He might be a Jedi though.
There's implication.
There's that opening. There's the position's not been fully filled, just yet. They could make him a Jedi just to add to. I think that'd be really cool to have two main Jedis and like
that'd be fun.
Yeah, and have them fight whoever's. And,
For now, I'm totally fine with Rey, and also I'm really looking forward to all the people saying this is a white man genocide film. So good.
Yeah,
so good.
Potential interracial romance, maybe.
Oh no, mixing chocolate and vanilla.
Oh, can't have that.
Yeah, obviously there was the people saying like, no, we can't have this film. It's apparently that was just the thing started by trolls, but then idiots picked it up.
Isn't everything though on the internet like
half the things? Yeah,
like pretty much everything is like people joke and then idiots think they're serious and either attack.
It's like what Donald Trump's doing.
And what happens is trolls start a thing joking, and then either idiots attack them for joking or join them because they think they're serious and it's a smart thing to do.
Yeah, isn't it like it reminds me of that, I can't remember what it's called. It's that book where they talk about how to stop homelessness. I know. What was by killing homeless people? And feeding them.
It's Poe's law.
Yeah, Poe's law. That's it.
Poe's law. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's still people who think that's legit. They don't know that it's a joke.
Yeah, because no one knows when people are joking anymore, and that's the kind of crazy world we live in.
Which you'd think like that would be something that would stay in the early 2000s, back when Fox News was like, now this 4chan, who is he? I'm not joking. That's an actual line that Fox News did once. Yeah, it was. I think it was the woman who said that that Mass Effect was a big sexed up violent game that had loads of hardcore sex scenes in it, and then later she admitted that she never played the game and she just did that to try and spark views, and she apologized about it, and it's fucking golden. And this is why people don't watch Fox News.
Among many other things. I mean...
Oh, yeah, well, they're shit stirrers.
Yeah,
they're terrible and don't do research.
They're utter shit kids. But, yeah, those people are terrible and idiots, whether you're joking about it or not. Those were terrible things to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, Finn, Rey, both great characters. Rey turns out to be a Jedi. We don't know about her parentage, but it's probably Luke, right?
It's probably Luke.
Like, all the signs point to it's either Luke or Luke was training her as a Padawan and then, like, hid her before Kylo could get his children murdering reputation on.
Yeah, or maybe like
Kylo Ren, he's just like
Kyle.
Kyle is like, Granddad murdered children. I'm gonna keep on the family business.
I'm gonna fuck those kids up.
I'm gonna kill all the children. That's what Granddaddy would have wanted.
This is just imagine that with it instead of the "Why are you doing this?" Just imagine, "Oh, I'm gonna fucking wreck their shit, little boy."
Yeah, just the Adam Driver's like, "No, Dad, Granddaddy wanted me to do this." Just imagining that little skull helmet talking to him. Yes, you need to kill all the children, grandson.
I say that we should lay waste to the surface world.
Yes, the Jedi need to be killed, and especially the children. Make sure you blow up a planet along the way. They'll forgive you for it later. Just throw a guy down a well. It'll all work out. People will love you for it.
Good shit. Yeah, like I liked how she had Jedi untapped Jedi powers, but they didn't make it so that she could do anything.
Though people are calling her a Mary Sue.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. But the article was like, it's the critics who are the Mary Sues or something?
Yes, yeah. It was.
So break it down for my candy ass.
Okay, so because she's a woman who is competent at things, she's now a Mary Sue.
Of course.
Because people like her, she's attractive, she can fly stuff, she can fix stuff, and now she gets Jedi powers, supposedly out of nowhere. We don't know if she was trained at any point. Like,
I'm willing to say that Luke trained his mother and her mother and father, and in the monastery or whatever, and then they were like, "Oh, I like you." You know, they have a super Jedi kid, and then like they said, "Take care of our child," and then they die.
I believe it's his kid because the lightsaber flies directly to her. Like,
I think either's possible.
Well, yeah,
most likely his kid.
Either's possible, but the thing is, it flies to her. Like, even though Kyle is right there, and like tries to get it to come to him, and by legacy, he's the closest to Luke that we know of so far, and yet it comes to her. I'm guessing it's because
she also the first time she touched it, she trips out a little.
Yeah, she trips out. She gets Luke visions and stuff.
See some spooky shit.
She sees some spooky shit, and like I'm guessing she's Luke's kid. It makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Now, it does make this universe pretty small, and it does bring up questions of why Luke would leave his child on a desert planet, but that just seems to be the Skywalker tradition.
I guess.
Just like, you know what, you're too dangerous, I'm leaving you on a planet to be a slave.
Enjoy milking blue milk or whatever.
Enjoy your blue milk arsehole. See you in 20 years when you figure out this is all a trap. See you later.
Yeah.
Look, we always figure this out, and none of us in our line have figured out it's a bad idea to just leave your child on a desert planet for 20 years. It's just a thing we do. Get over it.
So anyway, people need to chill out about
Rey. She's not a Mary Sue. Like, she's
just a competent character.
She's competent and she's likable and
she's a cutie patootie.
Yeah, and she's cute. I'd like just get over it. All right, she's fine.
I was fine. At first, I was a little worried that they were gonna do sort of when the film first starts out. I thought they were gonna try and make a point like, no, I can take care of myself. Damn it!
She was almost on the edge of independent woman who don't need no man.
Exactly, but that they did it well and they just dodged around it. I like when like Finn grabs her hand. Is like, why are you still holding my hand? I know how to run.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah,
and also at the end, she does get captured for a bit and then frees herself, which I think is a nice balance of like, okay, look, she got punked out. That happened,
but she
then freed herself and also got help from people. Yeah, it's a nice balance where it's like she's not invincible, she's not crazy good, and like people say like, oh, she got Jedi powers out of nowhere. I thought it was pretty clear that she got that from Kyle, right? He tries to mind probe her, she turns it back on him, so maybe she got some of his abilities. Like, he was teaching her stuff by proxy kind of stuff. Like,
yeah, like as he was, like, tapping in, she was like, no, this is a bad time, and then she used something that she'd never really... thought of before, because obviously she's just been a slave this whole time. What reason would she have to use it?
Yeah, and also there is implication that she was left by Luke, like, and that quite likely he put some mental blocks in her. Like, he basically hid her memories from her.
I could believe that more than making everyone stupid to not realize that the senator is actually space Hitler, Satan. I
can believe it because, like, the going theory is, she was a Padawan at his academy, either because she's his kid or she was just a Padawan there, whatever. But he left her there to keep her safe from Kyle, and he wiped her memory to keep her safe from all of that.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me, and like the idea is that he tore off that mental block while going through her mind, so she's getting those lessons back, and also just she has natural ability, so it makes sense, you know, which is why she's
more like implication that she could be Luke's daughter.
Yeah, which is implication, and it's also. It leads to a very funny scene of, like, you will undo these restraints and leave the door open and leave.
I'll tighten those restraints.
Yeah, like, no, you'll open these restraints and leave. I'll open these restraints and leave. And you'll drop your gun, and I'll drop my gun. It was great. It was a great scene. I love that.
It would have been better if she got him to sit into the chair as well.
Maybe, but apparently that was Daniel Craig, that Stormtrooper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's his cameo.
It's finally doing something besides James Bond.
I'm fine with it.
He's still going to be Potato Man as James Bond.
Yeah.
It's a potato.
Yes, he is a potato.
Yeah.
Though in that scene, he had a bit more charisma than a potato usually has.
Yeah, definitely.
Though I think my favourite Stormtrooper scene out of this film, and maybe any of the films, is when Kylo Ren is getting really pissed at and these two guys walk around the corner, see
that he's having like another. He loves his tantrums, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's having a moment, and they say, "Not having any of that. Walk back."
Like as they're walking just around the corner, he puts his hand on the other guy, and they both back away, back around the corner.
It's
like
great.
This is a regular occurrence.
It just shows so much about the characters when they know what's going on.
Yeah. In the other room, they just hear some like...
they know what's happening. They know he's on a tantrum.
And they know they shouldn't get involved.
Exactly. Like, because if they were... Like, it just shows that that's happened so many times.
Yeah.
Like, Vader, when he had a problem, killed a guy.
Yeah, he strangles a bitch.
Yeah, he strangles anyone who brings him bad news, which is an excellent way to make sure no one brings you bad news.
Yeah, just bury your problems and pretend that everything's going great.
Yeah, anyone who comes near you, make sure they're strangled if they bring you bad news. But Kylo Ren either is too practical or is too close to the light, where he's just like, you know what, these guys don't deserve it. They didn't like make this thing happen.
So he takes his aggression out on very expensive equipment and constant machinery.
Yeah, he just bitches out and like, they took my stuff.
Which, like, I actually, even though that's a comedic moment, I actually think that plays into his character well.
It does really well.
Because, like, something I noticed, like, people say, I have heard people say, like, oh, how did Finn and Rey manage to, like, survive in a fight with him? And at first I was like, oh, how would they be able to do it? At least with Finn, you can say, okay, he's had elite training, so, like, it makes perfect sense that he'd be able to stand some time. But the way that Kyle fights, he's very aggressive and sort of
also he's been shot in the leg.
Yeah,
like, with the coolest blaster in the universe now, the crossbow bolt thing.
Yeah,
like Chewie straight up ganked him in the leg. Like,
he's doing like almost monk techniques of like trying to put the pain somewhere else.
Yeah. He's trying to keep himself calm. He's not doing a great job of it.
Yeah.
He's not calm at all. And
like he very much like tries to just brutally wear down his opponents. So, like, he tries like messing with them like on his exhaust points. He burns Finn with it. Which, like it says a lot about him.
Yeah, it
says which is what lightsaber fights should have been. It should say something about who
well,
they
that was one of the big problems with the prequels, and I've rewatched some of those lightsaber fights, is that they don't nick each other. Like, they don't hit each other and just get a little burn here, a little burn there. Like, it's a deadly game of chess. Like, any hit would have meant death.
It's like how you play when you're kids. So you're trying to hit the lightsabers, but you don't want to hit your friend because they're going to cry and tell on you.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like...
Dude, we're just playing! I'll just hit you in the arm. You see how you feel about it.
Yeah. Exactly, like, and this felt like a real lightsaber fight. I like that. And I think that's the first time we've had that in the series at all. Like, like, there's never been a real fight when they've hit each other and, like, just grazed each other and actually had it be a real deadly thing. Like, that's why I'm almost close to calling this the best lightsaber fight. It's really genuinely good.
It's a damn good one.
It's a nice mix, you know?
I'd put it up there with Luke's fight when with all the gas around him.
Yeah, the Luke fights with Darth Vader. Like either one, the Empire or the Jedi one.
Both are good.
Both are really good, but they did have that 70s sheen on them of being not spectacularly choreographed. But this one really nicely done. But yeah,
and there's only a few of them, and they're all good.
Yeah, between Kyle being shot in the leg and, being a crazy asshole, and Rey and Finn both being really proficient with melee weapons, you can understand how they would actually be fairly decent against him.
Because I was just thinking, is this going to be like Dooku, where some pretty good guy is able to go up against someone who's had almost literally a millennia of training?
Well, that was the other thing, is Supreme Leader Snoke says, after, like, the planet's blowing up, he says, bring Kylo Ren to me, I should complete his training now. It's basically saying he hasn't trained him. Like, he's given him some pointers, but he hasn't really done much to really tell him how to do this stuff.
Which could also be why he's like, I can feel the light trying to grab me.
Exactly.
Like, he hasn't fully indoctrinated him.
Well, I don't know. Killing your dad is a pretty clear break with the light, I'd say. He's like, he's gonna have to do a lot to, like, people have said, look, the only way he's gonna redeem himself is if he fucking dies while he does it, because like, I don't know, I'd be interested to see him come over to the light at the end of the next movie, and, like, have the third movie be him, like, on the good guy team, like, really fighting against the...
And they were like, we're not gonna listen to Carl, he's a right dick, he killed Han Solo.
Yeah, it's like, you killed Han Solo, how are we supposed to trust you? It's like, no, I'm a good guy now, look at my cool lightsaber, I made it blue, or whatever, like, maybe he makes it yellow, because, we could do with more unique lightsabers.
I'd
or
like
something.
a yellow lightsaber. It's surprised they haven't done that.
It's all over the expanded universe, like, pretty much.
And you would have thought, considering George was all about that merch, you would have thought he would have done it.
Yeah, you'd think that they'd go that far. which is why I'm a little annoyed that Rey's stuff isn't anything important.
Yeah,
I was really expecting, because it's all over the
saber pike.
It's all over the marketing. Like, we got the poster right here, and it's a great poster.
Yes,
it's stuff is right and center, right? Because, like, there was all this talk about that maybe being either Darth Plagueis' stuff or some kind of important stuff, and, like, it's not in most of the movie. Like, you'd almost think that she left it on Jakku, and then it's like she just has it at the end. And it
would have been cool if she got that. Maybe later on in, like, the next film, she puts lightsabers at the end, so, like, to make a pike out of it.
Just put a lightsaber on the end. Or I think it'd be kind of funny if Luke walks up to her, is like, you ever press that button? What button? Holy shit, I didn't know that was there. That would have been much more effective. I've just been hitting people with it.
And it's just like, well, that would explain why this thing is beat up to shit.
Yeah, it's like, wow, you've been just been punching dudes with it.
Have you ever turned this thing on? Turned it on?
Like, yeah, you see that end on it? It just looks like a lightsaber.
Oh shit!
Oh right.
I thought you just jammed that into people.
Yeah,
that little empty hole. Make a nasty little insertion.
Yeah, just like, look, I found.
It's almost like the point you get on the end of guns if you run out of ammo.
Yeah, it's just like, look, I've only found out about lightsabers last week. I don't know how to operate these things. Oh, that's
only found out it was all true.
Yeah, I only found out it was all true last week. Give me a break. And we don't know when she got that stuff. Like, she seems fairly proficient with it, but it's like...
I mean, I think it's just something that's just always there. How, like in the originals, Han just happened to have a blast shield behind him. It wasn't there because of whatever. He just had a blast shield.
Yeah, fair enough. But with I would like to see that stuff either become a lightsaber or having been a lightsaber all along and depowered or whatever. I would like that to happen.
That would be cool if they if they found out that there was a crystal chamber and then Luke helps her put one in.
That would be great. Just like puts in a light crystal. It's like, you could do with this light pike at the end. Great. I would love it.
Yeah, man.
Just like unique lightsaber designs, more stuff. That'd be great. And, okay, like, coming out of this, one of the reasons I wasn't too happy was the amount of questions that we had by the end of it. And if we're talking about the ending, let's talk about those questions. We don't know who Rey's parents are.
Yeah.
We don't know who Snoke is. We don't really know... Like, I've done a bit of reading, but we don't know who the First Order or the Resistance really are, like, up until this point. We see Coruscant get nuked, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think it's... What was it? So it's a new system. So Horribin or something.
People
terrible with names. It's basically Coruscant, but they didn't want to say they nuked Coruscant. So
yeah.
But yeah, like we don't know who the New Republic were. Like all this stuff about the universe, we just don't know. And
it does feel a bit find out next time.
That was my point. You know, it does feel a bit like tune in next time if you want to figure all this stuff out. And I resented that for all of the mystery marketing that they had.
Yeah.
The biggest one of them all being Luke, obviously, like because we don't really know what he did.
Big spoilers. He shows up at the end looking pretty cool and he's got a cloak on.
Yeah.
And then it ends.
Yeah, he's really sad. He looks really sad, and then he sees his lightsaber, and he's just like doesn't say anything, and the movie's over.
Yeah.
Though I do understand, because I've heard them talk about like what they were doing with the scripting process, and said, oh yeah, there was a bunch of drafts where we had him come in like 2/3 of the way in, but like anytime it happened, it would just be like, oh, now it's the fucking Luke show, because like he takes over the movie.
Yeah, I could see that.
I can understand that entirely. I just want to see what's going to happen in episode 8 now, because like he's gonna be there and he's gonna have to talk and do stuff.
Yeah.
So we just have to wait 18 months for that to happen.
So we got Rogue One next.
Yeah, Rogue One's next.
Is that next Christmas?
Next Christmas, yes.
Yeah, and then we get.
And then in the summer after that, because this one was meant to come out in May, like Star Wars movies usually do.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to compete against their own stuff, because you know this year is the big year of Disney, and they had the Avengers and they had this, so they've done really
That's
well.
fair.
They didn't want to compete against their own stuff. I can understand that.
But they were just brave enough to compete against Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yep. Yeah.
Something we have neglected. BB-8.
Yeah, BB-8. We
Love BB-8.
BB-8, I'd say, is my favorite droid now.
Yeah,
I like BB-8.
I think he's what George thought he was doing with Jar Jar.
That's how you pull off cute and funny.
Yeah, like it was. Jar Jar was very much made by corporate people for corporate people, whereas BB-8 was like someone said, I want to make a cute, endearing character who's likable. Yeah. And then a byproduct of that is that he's very marketable. It
was kind of funny, the droids coming in, because like C-3PO literally just pops into his frame. Hello, it's me, C-3PO.
Punished C-3PO.
Yeah.
A hero deprived of his, his sass.
With his snake arm, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
kept you waiting, huh?
Yeah.
Age hasn't slowed you down one bit, has it, R2?
Yeah, he literally goes, oh, you probably don't recognize me because of my red arm. I should probably get this looked at.
I'm nuclear. I'm wild.
Yeah, and then by the end of it, it's like, well, time for my rad arm to go away. Now I've got my gold arm again. Buy both toys, kids.
Nah, I would have been fine with red arm.
I would have been fine with him keeping his red arm.
Yeah.
Because, like, originally, like, he had a silver leg and, like, the gold body. I would have been fine with his silver leg, red arm, everything. Just like, keep making him more and more mismatched until he's dead in a gutter. Because C-3PO can just stop now.
Do that thing. Do that thing from Doctor Who where it's like, oh, nothing inside you is the real you. It's like a broom and a handle. You replace the broom, and then eventually the handle. It's not you.
Yeah.
From that,
quick tangent. I got to show Sam a bunch of season 8 and 9 Doctor Who stuff.
Yeah,
pretty rough, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a rough time.
Yeah, I got to show you the space diner with the space lesbians, the immortal lesbian space diner.
I really didn't believe that was real.
Yeah, I was talking to you like it was like a fever dream, and then I showed you, and it was a real.
I refused to believe you whatsoever that there's like, no, he doesn't have that kind of power to write that and get away with it. Like, okay,
yeah.
Space lesbian diner happens. Peter Capaldi plays guitar for a bit, and then he goes off and is miserable and grumpy. And yeah, that is pretty garbage.
Yeah, that Doctor Who finale, pretty garbage.
I did like those little bits and pieces of that rehash of the Clockwork episode that you showed me.
Oh yeah,
where it leaves it super up in the air whether or not he killed himself or the Doctor pushed him.
Yeah. The first episode of season 8 was pretty decent, but overall
flesh balloon.
Yeah, a balloon made of human flesh. Good. Literally the next episode in that
deals with the flesh balloon.
No, they never do. But I do like that line. What's it powered by? Skin.
Something I would probably write.
Yeah, but in the next episode, they fall into a pile of human, a liquid vat of human.
Yeah, and he's like, your friend's in here if you want to say a few words.
No, he says, your friend's probably the top layer if you want to say a few words.
Which is probably what that show should have been.
Yeah.
Miserable, grumpy prick in space.
Yeah, but then they dialed it back for season 9 and made him happy again, which...
Just because everyone was like, oh, I don't want it. I wanted a hot, young guy to be the Doctor.
No, I think it was more they just wanted a happy guy to be the Doctor, and...
Haven't we had enough of that?
Yeah, I was fine with it. But, overall, Doctor Who pretty disappointing. Star Wars, not so much. Star Wars, pretty decent.
I'd rather watch Star Wars again.
I am very scared, though, that I might have been Phantom Menaced here. And that the whole world might backlash a bit. I'm not saying it's bad. I still say, overall... solid C-grade film, and if I put it on the top of my top 10 list, it will be purely through Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't deserve it, but it is a good movie. But overall, I think it's just a C-grade film. I think there is a bit of a backlash brewing, though, because I'm seeing more and more people start to backlash to it's too much like the originals.
Yeah. The complaints you brought up are fine, but it's like, if I was to put it on a top 10, it would be on the bottom 5, maybe? Maybe something like that. Under 5, above 10, maybe something like that. But it's not Phantom Menace. We're not. It's not a repeat of Space Jesus gets a woman pregnant and he's supposed to save the Force. Oh wait, there might be a chance that he's gonna kill a church full of kids.
Yeah,
it's not that. We've gotten past this. Like you said, J.J. Abrams was a good pick for it because he's a competent director.
Yeah. I think overall it could have done with more original stuff, and there is.
True.
The fact is that the expanded universe has had 30 years to really grind through the gears and work out every possible interest. Because here's one thing for the expanded universe that I like, that because there was a theory for a while that Palpatine was Emperor and was trying to get the universe to make all these war machines, not for cement his own power, but the galaxy was going to be invaded by another galaxy.
That would have been fucking beast.
How rad would that be?
Yeah.
That would have been really interesting. Like
they have to beat up the Roopers.
Yeah, the Roopers just like come back in and like that would have been really cool. Like just something like that. That or there was another option that like some ancient Sith ghosts were kind of gonna come back and razzle some people.
Yeah,
like,
the original Sith come razzling some polar bears.
That would have been great.
Or some polar bears come in and start beating up.
Or any of that. Some people were apparently afraid that in The Force Awakens, when they go to the planet where it's all water, some people were afraid that was going to be prehistoric Earth. They would never do it, but it's a fascinating concept.
Yeah.
But
global warming Earth.
Maybe.
This is why we left.
It was in the future all along.
It was Earth.
Yeah, it was Earth all along.
Those maniacs, they melted it. They melted it all.
They melted it all.
Damn you.
But there's a bunch of expanded universe ideas.
Yeah.
Either the Darksaber, Admiral Thrawn trilogy, that was really good. Basically the only thing they picked up was the kids are not all right, they've gone to the dark side thing.
Yeah, like with that much expanded universe, I think it's okay to pick and choose the best stuff.
Yeah, and I would have been fine with that if they hadn't gone so much into the original trilogy, because we already had this with Return of the Jedi, with the already second Death Star, and people thought that was dumb the first time. I don't think we needed it another time with another Death Star.
Yeah.
And it does distract from the more interesting stuff going on, like in the plot. Other than that, pretty solid.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I'll definitely be watching it again with you and.
Oh yeah, we'll be watching it again. Yeah. I'm solid for that. It's a romp, a fun time.
Yeah, which is what I wanted.
Yeah,
because I really can't call the prequels romps. I call them endurance tests.
Like I've said before, I've tried to rewatch them because of my nostalgia. Every now and then I'll put them in. It's like, you know what, maybe it wasn't that bad. And then I put it on, and it's that bad! Mm-hmm. Especially Attack of the Clones, which I will never be able to defend it, ever.
Nope.
Even Revenge of the Sith is just so depressing.
It's grimdark.
It is grimdark, and it's impossible to watch. I think this one, it feels a bit corporate, but I can deal with it. It's fun. It's fun enough. And I think the big thing that we need to keep focus on is that there are really interesting directors lined up for the rest of the films. Who we got for Rogue One?
For
Rogue One, it's Gareth Edwards, so New Godzilla Man. I'm for that. It's going to be apparently like a ground war plus air war kind of thing.
I'd be interested.
I'm interested in that. We've got Rian Johnson, Looper Man. You know,
Yeah, Looper was great.
Looper Man's good.
Which one he's doing? Is he doing?
Episode 8.
Oh, cool.
So that could be really interesting. He can do all the original stuff and make it mix and match, because J.J. Abrams really is the man who you bring in to replicate the 80s and 90s stuff. Like
to breathe life back into something.
Yeah, that's what you do. But like he's set a good base. Now bring in the more interesting directors.
Yeah, because I thought they were gonna keep J.J. for
No. It's Rian Johnson for episode 8, and they're gonna start filming that soon. So good. The only one I'm a bit shaky on is Colin Trevorrow for episode 9.
What's he done?
Jurassic World.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Jurassic World is his first film.
Yeah,
and there was definitely corporate meddling in that.
The way that I justify that to myself is the direction in that was fine. The problem was with the script. Direction-wise, all of the action scenes were okay. All the characters sounded exactly as much of a massive arseholes as they needed to be. In terms of the direction, it was alright. I don't know if he's the best one to cap it off as a trilogy, though. But we've got years to wait until that happens, so who knows?
Maybe he'd make another film in that time.
Yeah, possibly, and also maybe they could switch it out for a different person.
Yeah.
And also, we've got all those spin-off films where they can really switch it up and make it...
Yeah, so who knows, they could, like, play off each other, like those films.
And, like, the main thing that we talked about last time was... We're getting a new Star Wars film every year for the
possibly forever,
possibly until our own sun burns out.
until we make our own Star Killer.
Yeah, until we
burn out what's left of our shitty sun.
Yeah. Until that happens. So eventually we're gonna get good ones. Even if people don't like this one, it's just gonna keep chugging. And
it'll be like Marvel. Like Iron Man 1, it's great. But there's been better Marvel films.
There has been, yeah.
Eventually we're going to get our own Guardians or
definitely.
Winter Soldier.
Yeah, you can imagine them bringing maybe some of those guys over to do Star Wars films.
Oh, bruh. They're in the same house, basically.
Yeah, James Gunn, imagine him doing it.
If James Gunn made a Star Wars film.
They were friends with Edgar Wright for a bit. Maybe they can apologise for kicking him off Ant-Man, giving him a Star Wars film.
They'll give him a Star Wars, the rights to a Star Wars film and a silver plate. Yeah. Tiny silver plate.
Yeah, just like... We're sorry about Ant-Man.
Have a Star Wars film.
Have a Star Wars.
And $20 million.
Yeah.
What is it with me and $20 million today?
Have a Star Wars film and $20 million.
Cash.
And some cocaine.
I'll just take the Star Wars film and the money, thanks.
Suit yourself.
So I'd like Edgar Wright to direct Ant-Man and the Wasp and a Star Wars film.
Yeah, he's not going to do Ant-Man and the Wasp, though.
No, he's not.
Yes Man Peyton Reed is on that.
What was Peyton Reed done again?
Yes Man.
Oh, I thought you meant he was a yes man.
That's the joke.
Yeah, it's a good joke.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah, but overall... pretty solid.
Yeah.
Pretty alright. I stand by all my criticisms.
Yeah.
I put them aside to enjoy the film.
Yep.
Overall, I'm okay with it.
I'm down with it.
And I think I'm okay watching it a few more times and buying more Star Wars merch.
Oh, yeah.
Not feeling too bad about it.
Oh, yeah. I'll shamelessly buy all the Star Wars merch.
I want a BB-8. Anything, just like a BB-8 or
an actual working one.
Yeah, a working one. I love that. Or a BB-8 mug. Like I've seen people with those.
Oh yeah, sweet.
Yeah,
I
do BB-8 anything. I'll take it.
I do want me some of those art books, all the posters and the concept art and
yeah.
Oof, damn. And I've definitely got to get. I was saying to you earlier, I want to get some Japanese Star Wars posters because Japan seems to have it going on when it comes to Japanese movie posters and stuff.
Yeah. Well, also like considering a lot of it was inspired from Japanese
perfect
history.
sense.
Yeah, I can totally see why they'd love it.
Yeah. I mean, apparently, I've got a friend on Facebook who she comes from Japan, and apparently, you think it's like big in America and in the UK. Apparently, it's nothing compared to how hype they are in Japan about Star Wars, which is like that's crazy.
That's great. I love it.
Yeah,
and hopefully we get some more stuff like that, where it's because they were saying they were considering like a Seven Samurai kind of film with Star Wars.
God damn,
I'd love that.
I'm so thirsty.
I'd definitely do that. That would be great.
Yeah,
like once they've established a real new Jedi Order, that would be great.
Yeah, because they've always touched the line. You said how in some expanded universe stuff there is a blind Jedi who relies on the Force and his senses, which That's very much a samurai thing.
Yeah, Ron Cota, love him. If we can get more of that in mainline Star Wars, that'd be great.
Yes.
Don't know if we need a Boba Fett film or a Han Solo film, though.
If a Boba Fett film finally makes him live up to all the fans' hype around him, I'd be fine with it. I want a reason to like Boba Fett, but right now he's just the most overrated pile of mediocrity I've ever seen. What I'm saying is he's mediocre.
He is mediocre.
Yeah.
And this film definitely didn't beat Mad Max.
Yeah. Mad Max is still king.
It is still the perfect film.
Yes.
It is still definitely...
Not a second wasted in that film.
Yeah, still love it.
Yeah. And as for the Han Solo film, if they get someone like confident enough to fill his shoes and they do a good job of it, have him another nice romp. All about the romps here at the Whatever Projector podcast. Romp approved. Yeah. Then I'll be fine with that as well.
I'll be fine with it, but seeing his character's dead, I feel like Harrison Ford's just going to watch that and just be steaming, just like, I wanted him dead.
Nah, I think he's just going to be like,
well,
it's over, I cut the cord,
he's got too much money to complain at this point.
Yeah, I mean, when you get, what was it, 70 million?
I think it was close to, it was 38 million, I think.
When you get tens of millions, there's not really much space to complain anymore.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, he's looking it up, okay.
Star Wars Force. I'm going to edit this out.
You won't. Stop lying.
I might.
He's lying through his teeth, podcast listeners. I keep telling you I'm not lying. I don't care. Just tell us. Website.
Around 10 to 20 million.
You could buy a lot of lottery tickets with that kind of dough.
Oh wait, no. 25 million to return. Yeah.
Shit. How much did Robert Downey Jr. get for the latest?
25 million, around that. A lot of money.
Need that money for all my cocaine and She-Hulk films.
Yeah, it's 20 million. This is
the constant obsession with me in this $20 million cash. I want to assemble a dream team. I want Gail Simone. I want the woman who directed Breaking Bad. I don't know. Anyone else who's like talented, and I'll get them all together, and there'll be as much cocaine as they want, and we all hammer out like the best script ever. And I don't give a shit if my She-Hulk film makes no money. I'm making like another sequel, an expanded universe.
I still think, She-Hulk deserves a movie.
Fucking hell, she does.
Yeah,
of course she does. She's
or a
great.
Netflix show or something. Just
a Netflix. You could have just had Jennifer Walters there.
Yeah,
you could have. She didn't
somewhere. Just like have a debate Matt Murdock in a court of law.
There's been people on the internet, so you know it's true.
Yeah.
There's been people saying how a Matt Murdock Jennifer Walters case would be so slamming.
I'm amazed it still. I'm amazed it still hasn't happened in the comics.
Keep talking.
Yeah. I'm amazed it still hasn't happened in the comics.
I know.
Yeah. Stunning.
You'd feel like if it did happen, it would have been like when they went to the symbiote home planet, where like, oh yeah, it happened, and it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
It just looks like Giga just jerked off on some paper, and that was it.
Yeah.
I suppose it less to offend me with.
Yeah.
Disney, Marvel, you have no right to say that it's too much money to buy the Hulk back after you killed the cinemas for a day. How much did they make on their first day? Something crazy.
Opening weekend, 250 million.
250 million bananas.
Yeah, and that's today. But will it be Titanic?
Nothing's ever going to be Titanic.
Yeah.
So you could see the tear, one tear rolling down his face, and then. Yep.
It might though, because sad
violin.
Because I think Titanic made 1.9 or 2 point something billion, and Avatar made 2.7 billion, and they just have to beat that in lots of cinemas.
Please beat that.
Yeah, mainly to fuck George.
Yeah,
it was interesting hearing his commentary about it, because about this film, because he's like, he sounds so, he's like, it's sort of like a breakup. It's just like, I'm sure the fans will like it.
He found out that his ex has gotten with someone way more cooler.
Yeah, he is basically like, yeah, the fans like it, this isn't what I wanted.
I don't want to make another Star Wars film because they'll just pick it apart.
Yeah,
Because you're not very good, George. You're good at coming up with ideas, and then more talented people say yes and no.
Well, I would have been interested to see like some of the ideas he could come up with, because I will say the prequels came up with some pretty baller concepts.
Yes.
And the designs, I love them. All of the designs of the prequels are great. I still think the prequel era is
almost all.
Almost all.
We got our Dexter Jetster.
Yeah, Dexter Jetster is still an interesting design. He's just not used well at all. Yeah, whatever. But like the point is that like the prequel era is my favorite era of Star Wars. Still, just in terms of designs and even the politics, I'm fine with it. Whatever. But like he had some interesting ideas. He just never used them properly. And
I think I'm more fond of the original designs because they're good designs and they were used properly.
Yeah.
Whereas the good designs are not used well, and it makes them feel not as good in association.
Yeah, true. Well, this is why I've been watching the Clone Wars, because it uses them well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Clone Wars is far better. Well, I think we nailed it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
we produced solid middle of the road content, just like this.
As long as we can be the best okay podcast ever, I'm fine with that.
Yep. Basically, our laws for Star Wars. If it's okay, it's doing pretty well for itself.
And eventually, you'll get our Winter Soldier of podcasts.
Maybe. We don't promise anything. Depends how much I edit after this podcast.
Lying through the teeth again.
Yeah, probably.
You're a lion.
If I did edit it all out, this conversation makes no sense.
Oh shit.
Though,
but you'd probably edit that out as well, wouldn't you?
Just to be clear, I've probably not edited out nearly enough.
And you're probably a huge lazy shit.
Probably.
Jabba the fuck.
Thanks for watching.
Catch you guys next time.